Good morning, hot dog. Welcome. Still looking at the market setup, looking at all the headlines, trying to get bearing. Almost ready to start. RKLB, Rocket Lab. Let us see. Let's have a look. While we are waiting, let's look at RKLB. Okay, here we go. RKLB. So what you're saying is it rode up from 4 to 24 last year, but the reason it might still be interesting is because it does Space Force work lately. Space Force work. Okay. Let us have a look at this chart. The sentiment is still bullish. Not as great as it was in June, but still positive. MACD bearish. Momentum is still low. Let's see if we can get any, let's go to a 1-day time frame because this is today's 3-minute time frame. Okay. Oh, wow. Wow. This looks good. This looks good. At least to me at first glance. Well, this sentiment is good. MACD is still bearish. Momentum is above average. Dropped a little bit. Maybe there was some news. Rocket Lab received a buy rating from analyst Andreas Shepard with a price target increase from 29 to 35, indicating a potential 3 billion market value rise. Okay. Is there any other news out here? Rocket Lab executives sell shares under trading plans. That is normal. The stock is a direct beneficiary of the Trump-Musk feud. The Trump-Musk feud is getting resolved. Musk has folded. Rocket Lab USA is maintained at overweight by Cantor Fitzgerald. Okay, this is mission launches fuel for rockets. Rocket Lab's rally. Should you buy this stock now? Seems very interesting. Now let us look at the trends out here, right? It's been going up on a steady click. So even if we just take a simple parameter, like a bull channel, it's already on a bull channel. Let us look at the resistance. I think this should be the resistance. So we still got room to go up. And if we go up in a gentle manner, the way we have been doing so far, touching this line and so on and so forth, we have a runway to keep on going up until at least 22nd of July. Unless some good news comes and just we break through this red line. So we have until 22nd of July to break through this red line and create new highs. That's the way I'm looking at it right now. They have been launching missions which could well be hypersonic tests. Wow, that will be a big deal. They could win contracts from SpaceX if Trump wants to punish Elon. Quite possible. Personally, I'm going to wait for a bargain to buy in. Seems like a sensible strategy. I'm looking at this and trying to see what kind of signs I can find out here. So this is bullish. This is our resistance. If you look at it another way, we could be forming a double top, right? And then come down, trigger the double top. We have a gap here. Let us see if this gap got filled. Yeah, the gap got filled, so there is no gap fill issue out here. So it could form a double top, which becomes bearish, and the bearishness could take it down significantly. So that is the bearish side of it. There is another bullish side to this, which is our familiar pattern. Come on, where are you? And then this is another bullish possibility. Up here. So this could take it to a price target of 46.00. So these are three possibilities, at least that I can see with my level of experience of technical analysis. And I am thinking that if this is the case, then because of the volatility, it's difficult to make sense of what is going to happen, because the China-US stocks has kind of ended with both governments doing a little bit of face saving, but there is no details as such. As a result, the treasury yields are inching higher, and there are also increasing number of articles talking about Asia's shift away from the US dollar. And there is Double Lines Gundalch who is saying, buy international stock on dollar secular decline. Because if the dollar declines for foreigners, even though the stock prices are high, accrued profits are there in dollar terms, but in local currency terms, it is going down. So there could be people pulling out the dollar. And even though China and the US have agreed on a framework, there is no details about how they are going to come to an agreement. And the way Besant is positioning it and the way Lutnick is positioning it is as if Trump has to approve this. I don't think the Chinese side will like the way it has been positioned. They don't want their premier to be seen as playing second fiddle to Trump, and Trump always wants to be the top dog. So there's a clash of egos out there, and I think this is going to take more time to resolve. Actually, if you look at the situation now in the United States, right? Let me just go to the news out here. Okay. We are still in the greed index, in the greed section of the index. Look at this headline out here. Does this look like a mature government handling the affairs responsibly? This doesn't look like it. There is so much of problems all over the place. I mean, within the United States itself, the government doesn't have consensus. Trump has got a fight with Federal Reserve chairman. He has got a fight with governor of California. He's got fight with law firms. He's got fight with universities. And he has got fight with almost every country in the world with reciprocal tariffs. And he's breaking things which are already there and not fixing anything. So it's all becoming a progressive mess. And the feud with Elon Musk, the cuts to the government agencies. We have hurricane season coming up, and I can guarantee that they don't have enough staff and enough know-how to predict hurricanes, and once the hurricanes happen, to provide support through FEMA. It's a mess waiting to happen. So I am absolutely bullish right now, and I don't know what you guys think about it, but this is looking really horrible to me. And in the light of this, if you look at the fear and greed index, this is really driving me nuts, because at this time we should be in extreme fear, looking at the fact that the US dollar is losing ground, bond yields are going up, and you have got so much of tariff animosity going on. There is the fight between Russia and Ukraine is going on. Middle East is not peaceful. So all of these put together, and internal conflict and everything, it looks like a dog's breakfast to me. And it's not going to be looking that great to me from a investment perspective, especially as a foreigner investing in the United States. So in that context, right, when we come back to Rocket Lab and look at it, yeah, I feel bullish about Rocket Lab from the point of view that this government is going to need all the ammunitions that it can get, because it is generating a whole lot of geopolitical conflicts, and sooner rather than later, they will have to get into kinetic action somewhere or the other. And that time, Rocket Lab is going to be on the top. On the other hand, if I look at the tariff issue, even though rare earths have been relaxed by China right now, with Trump being who he is, he can make any statement anytime and China can roll it back. So nothing is settled. Everything is up in the air. There is a whole lot of chaos. And under the chaos, it's very difficult to do any kind of investments, even in really good blue chips, right? Now, I can see NVIDIA trying to make moves away from US and to double down on other areas. NVIDIA is making a big play for Europe with infrastructure deals that they are trying to push through. Let us go in here to this news article. Let's see. NVIDIA makes big play for Europe with infrastructure deals. NVIDIA announced a slew of partnership with European firms on Wednesday, spanning infrastructure to software. NVIDIA is looking to unlock new markets and keep itself at the center of global artificial intelligence story. Chief Executive Jensen Huang on Wednesday continued his tour of Europe with a keynote at NVIDIA's GTC event in Paris, France. Okay, so the way I'm looking at it is that at this point of time, Trump is very volatile. And Trump could probably say that we don't want Europe to go ahead of us in AI. And he could cut that market as well. So if he does that, then Jensen Huang will have to face this critical choice of whether he wants to be a US company or he wants to be a non-US company. EU is not that great either. There is too much of restrictions and there is too slow a decision-making process. So UK becomes a major beneficiary. And I see that in future, UK is going to do way better unless EU decides to reform itself and become a much more nimble organization and puts infrastructure in place that can do a whole lot of good for their industry by expediting decision-making process and being more pragmatic rather than ideological. So I think most companies like Google, Microsoft, Meta, all of them will have to sooner rather than later face this kind of a choice if Trump continues to be who he is and he's not showing any sign of changing. He's doubling down on who he is. So this is a big problem for successful companies who are cutting edge and leading the science. And I predict that this is going to become a very hot topic, maybe within a month, because at this point of time, right, the way I'm looking at it from Canada is that whenever there is a problem that becomes too hot, like the Elon Musk and Trump spat, he created this California mess. And if California mess becomes too hot to handle and he starts losing court cases, he would create another distraction, probably invasion of Greenland, or maybe at that time he may turn around and say NVIDIA cannot export to EU. He could do anything. We have got the midterms coming up. Until the midterms happen and until the people's verdict comes in, we don't know where US is going. Till such time, as a retail investor, I have already started moving my US dollars into the Canadian side and investing in US companies with the hedged Canadian dollar receipts, which gives me protection against foreign exchange fluctuations. So that's what I am doing. But I might be ahead of the curve or I might be alarmist. We will see what happens in time. But Americans in the live stream or maybe who watch it later, please put your comments and let me know what you think. Now, I have got Inf saying I have massive, huge short squeezes happening in the market right now and lots of heavily shorted genomics are running. Quite possible. CPI, yes, 8:30, we're going to have CPI coming in. That's going to move the market. So, yeah, so that's where we are, in my opinion. Now, let's go back and look at Rocket Lab. So that's my summary for Rocket Lab. I'm very optimistic for Rocket Lab, Hotdog. I think the technicals, at least two of them, are pointing to bullishness. And I have a price target that we have come across at around 45.38. But we have to remember that all of this is sitting in the context of the tariff war and domestic unrest in the US, both of which are not showing any signs of resolving. So if they get bad, all these technicals can go on the wayside and the stock can come down. So high risk. That's what I would say. This is our new defense watch list that I have made. I'm working on a video for the defense sector. I'll publish it maybe later this week. And this is work in progress. Now let's go back into the futures and see what's happening here. As you can see, we have this diagonal line of resistance. And today also, we are just straddling that line of resistance. So as you can see here, if we break above that, then we have the ultimate resistance out here. Machine algorithms these days are pushing us slightly above and then bringing us back to trap a whole lot of bulls out here and take their money and then come down. So I am predicting that up here also, we might go above this diagonal line of resistance, which is a very long-term resistance. And let me just give you the context of this resistance. So this is how long it has been. It has been with us all the way from at least 1st of November 2027, one touch point here, one touch point here, and then one touch point here. But when you go into a daily time frame, then you see that the little bit of touch point that it had with the diagonal line was actually many days. So when you look at a 1 month time frame, this looks like just a wee bit of a bump outside, but it's a decent time to attract a whole lot of bulls thinking that we are going to create new highs and then taking their money and then again teasing them and then taking their money and falling down. It will do that again. I think there will be a double top out here before we come down. So I'm predicting that we are going to keep on moving along this diagonal line of resistance. Let me pull this out further. And the date out here is going to be 28th of July. So at least until 28th of July, I think we're going to travel along this. And then this line of resistance could contain the jump that we have above this diagonal line. And then we'll come back down again after doing a double top and taking money off a certain number of bullish participants. Now, NASDAQ futures also is traveling along this diagonal line of resistance. And we have another diagonal line of resistance coming out here. So I think a resistance of 22,008 is something that we have to watch out for. And at this point of time, we also have the bearish divergence both in S&P 500 as well as NASDAQ. So bearish divergences most of the time indicate to you that there is problem underlying and that the trend could turn anytime towards bearishness. So I would be aware about that. So that's what I would say with regard to NASDAQ and S&P 500. If you look at the dollar index is still struggling to break out of the 99.22 resistance. And we have this diagonal line of resistance under which we are moving. So a further move downwards is not ruled out because there have been a bunch of articles that have come up in Reuters, in CNBC, in Bloomberg. I would just sum up by reading some of those headline. Dollar divorce, Asia's shift away from the US dollar is picking up pace. There's a whole article out there. And Double Lines Gundal says to buy international stocks on dollar's secular decline. So that's another dollar headline. And I think that the huge bond issue, which is going to come up shortly, is going to give us an idea of what's going to happen with long-term bonds with regard to the United States. And that's going to happen later on during this month. And somewhere down the line today, we are going to have the economic calendar showing us CPI data coming out. So we have to watch out for that. And now the mortgage rates and other things, I'm just ignoring them because they're not very fast moving for us. Of course, they are fundamental to the housing market, which again is fundamental to the economy, but the more focus we would have today is going to be on core inflation month over month. And for the month of May, I think in the month of May, we'll start seeing a little bit of those tariff tantrums. Um, we have the previous reading at 0.2%, and the forecast is for 0.3%. Consensus and forecast for core inflation month over month for May is at 0.3%. So if it comes in hotter than this, then I expect the market to fall, because the Fed is going to be looking at, not reducing interest rates, but they'll firm up their hawkish tone, and that's not something that the market wants. They want rate cuts this year, and any firm reading in core inflation month over month is going to mean those rate cuts probabilities are going to diminish. And that's the same for core inflation rate year over year. Consensus as well as forecast is the same at 2.9, a 0.1% increase over the previous. Let us see what we get at 8:30. It's only 8 o'clock right now. Probably, if I remember, and if we are still online at that time, we'll have a look. And those are the things that are going to make a difference, the CPI for May. Those are the things which could have a material difference and have an impact on the market. So we have to watch out for them. And then let us go on and have a look at our actual S&P 500. So the S&P 500 index, the real-time index, which the market is still closed, we are not yet open. It's going to be traveling along this diagonal line of support, which was earlier a diagonal line of resistance. And we have an ultimate resistance, which is this horizontal line, which sits at 6,147.98. And once we reach there, I think we may at the most do a double top, or we may straddle that line, and then we are going to come down. That's the way I think it's going to work out. And at this point of time, sentiments are still bullish, though they are declining. MACD is bearish. Momentum is very high. It's almost in the overbought stage. So one has to be careful. It could go up, but not that high, like in the previous days, 20 basis points or 30 basis points up. That's the kind of thing I'm looking at. Right now, if you look at what happened yesterday, we were up 0.55% and 0.66%. Look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ also has got a bullish sentiment, which is gradually going down. There is a bearish divergence out here. Let me see in S&P 500 if we have a bearish divergence. Yeah, here also we have a bearish divergence. I'll just draw that for you. So if we look at the current action out here, and then look at what is happening with the momentum and what's happening with the MACD, you can see there is bearish divergence out here as well. So we are just waiting for a catalyst that's going to push us down. Then we have VIX also, which is a bit elevated today, 0.06%. That's not too bad. And we have gold up 0.39%. As dollar gets weak, we'll see gold going up. And we have this reverse head and shoulders. And the reverse head and shoulder has not yet been triggered. But once it gets triggered, I am thinking that the target will be 3,735 for gold. Again, all of these are my personal opinion. And for the new listeners who are here, this channel is slightly different from others in the sense that I am a retail investor, full disclosure. I'm not a technical analysis expert, but I have been trading for quite a while now, and I've learned a lot of lessons, and my portfolio has a lot of profits right now. It's not a very big portfolio, but what I'm doing here is trying to form a community of retail investors who can exchange ideas with me, and jointly we can try to do better in the market, help each other out with tips and pointers. And what I'm saying here is all my personal opinion and not financial advice. So please be careful about that. And then let's go on and have a look at put call ratio, which is looking mildly neutral to bullish to me, because we are at 0.85. 0.7 in my opinion is bullish, and 1 is neutral. So we are somewhere in between that. Next, let us go and have a look at our AI stocks. And just I would like to see what's happening in the chat section. Yeah, we are already doing this info. We are in We are in party time, as you say. Let us go and see what's happening in AI. NVIDIA is the first port of call for me. Again, we have got bearish divergence here, which is one thing I want to highlight before we start anything else. We are up 0.02%, mildly up. I must give credit to Jensen Wong. He's a very intelligent CEO. He's not too flamboyant and flashy. Yeah, he comes out in his leather jackets, and he makes a great presentation and other things. But one of the important things is that he doesn't get political. He doesn't make polarizing statements, and he is silently working on diversifying NVIDIA's footprint so that he can mitigate the risk. And he's also leveraging on the TSMC getting opened in US, which was President Biden's initiative with the CHIPS Act, and which I think Trump is also supporting. So he's taking advantage of that in US. At the same time, they already had the Cambridge One initiative going on with Britain, and now he's doubling down on Britain. And I think it's a very smart move because the regulations in Britain for AI are quite flexible, and the political leadership at this point of time is giving all the right signals for UK to regain its position as the financial center as well as a leader in AI. I wish Canada could have done that, but Canada had a leadership change. We had elections, but Mark Carney also is a smart guy. So I'm looking forward to him to start making some moves to capture the AI market. The father of AI is from University of Toronto. And I think we have a very good opportunity to become a center for AI. We're already suffering from tariffs from US. How bad can it get? So we should, and also it will be very easy to move assets from US into Canada. So I'm not sure why Mark Carney is not making those moves, but I'm really happy that UK is doing it. This should be good for them post Brexit to get back into relevance. So, and hats off to Jensen Wong of NVIDIA for doing all the right things that he could in order to capitalize on it. Now, coming back to the charts here today, I think we'll be consolidating a lot because we are almost in the overbought stage on the RSI. Yeah, of course, in the past, we have gone way high on the RSI scale, all the way up to 82.29 and beyond. But this time it is different. We have the tariff issues going on. We have got unrest within the US, and Trump is making a whole lot of aggressive noises within the US, like he's going to give severe consequences to those who protest the military parade and all those things. I mean, there's nobody who is talking about protesting, but he's putting those ideas out there and shooting down those ideas aggressively. So it's all posturing for more trouble out there. Let us be very careful in the stock market as retail investors. Hedge our bets with calls and puts and stuff like that. Meta is down 0.20% in pre-market trades. Again, Meta also has got a bit of a divergence. The price chart is quite steep as compared to the MACD and the momentum. And Google is up 0.09%. Google again is going to continue creeping up. I am thinking that Google is going to break 180.23 today and convert this into a support and start using this as a base. It has to go up and close above this for at least one day to validate this support and then move up. So this resistance is the last that we are going to see of today. I'm thinking tomorrow it's going to be positive, and it's going to become a support. I think sentiment is bullish. Google is pretty good, one of the best stocks in the Mag 5. And they have been very smart about how they are deploying AI as well. They have also got their fingers into the robotaxi business. I mean, automated driving and all that stuff. So it's pretty good. Amazon is down 0.14%. Apart from Google, I think Amazon is a sleeping giant. I can see a reverse head and shoulder pattern out here. Take it from me for what it is worth. There is a gap up out here. So I'm thinking that if we consider this to be a reverse head and shoulder, let me just change my pointer. And so if we consider this to be a reverse head and shoulder, then the target, I think, has got to be, let me just copy this. I'm going to draw another line out here. So that is a neckline. So if I move this out here, assuming that we are going to trigger this today, then we'll have a target of 258.50. Just because there's a pattern there doesn't mean that it's going to happen. But I think this is a reverse head and shoulder pattern. It's very bullish. With overall sentiment is bullish, MACD is bullish, and RSI is almost overbought. But as I said in the past, we have gone way above 70, all the way up to 74 or 75. If we go far enough, we'll see instances where we have been much higher. So there is still a little bit of room out there. But again, my caution is that in the background, we have got a whole lot of bad things happening, and there is no bearish divergence out here. I don't see any bearish divergence out here for Amazon. So I think to that extent, I feel that Amazon is a really good opportunity. So that said, let me go on to Apple. Apple is below this diagonal line of resistance. Hopefully, we are able to break it out today because we have been consolidating quite a lot. Sentiment is mildly bullish and MACD is also bullish. Momentum is just at average. So things could go either way for Apple today. Pre-market, it's up 0.09%. Let's go to Microsoft. Microsoft down 0.23%. I'm not getting any relief with the MSFT I bought, the leveraged Microsoft shorts, which I bought somewhere out here at around 444.94, assuming that this gap up will have to be filled and there is less outside. But it did not happen. So we have gone above this resistance of the all-time high, created a new all-time high, and now potentially we are coming down. At this point of time, I can see a huge bearish divergence, which also makes me hopeful that I would be able to make some money out of the short. The bullishness in the sentiment is also diminishing slowly. MACD has become bearish. Let's see what happens out there. Tesla is up 2.44%. The robotaxi launch date is also tentative right now. We'll have to see what news comes out after robotaxi is launched. There's a lot of risky possibilities for Tesla in the near future. So one has to be careful. I've sold all my TSLQ shorts, but unfortunately yesterday I bought a little bit of TSLQ again, which was a wrong thing to do. I was looking at all the sentiments out here and I bought it, but Elon Musk is on the mend with Trump and things are going to get better for Tesla unless we get any bad catalyst from the robotaxi event. I'm pretty sure that Tesla is going to do everything possible to make sure that the robotaxi pilot goes off perfectly. And if that happens, this share has got a whole lot of potential to go up significantly. Next, we look at Oracle, which is down 0.30%. This resistance at 178.74 is still acting very strong. RSI has got a little ways to go, even though traditionally it is overbought. In the past, we had gone all the way up to 84 on that RSI scale. So there is still a little bit of room out there to go up. And AMD is down 0.04% in pre-market trades, and I think it will get some support at around 120.99 today. And the resistance is going to be somewhere around 125.08 today. But right now it's at 123.19 in pre-market. SMCI is up 0.68%, and it has got a support at around 42.80. Pre-market it's at 43.20, and resistance is this minor line of resistance at 45.97. Broadcom is down 0.44%, and it has got resistance at around 246.90. Right now it's at 243.56. So the support is very strong at 236.67, which also happens to be the 21-day exponential moving average. So together, that becomes a very, very strong support for Broadcom. Next, let's look at Palantir, which is again down 0.04%. And it's going to get support at 131.06. Right now, it's at 132.77. And the next support for it is this horizontal line of support, which happens to be at 132.81. Sorry, which happens to be at 124.43. So that's the next support that we have there for Palantir. The bullish sentiment, as you can see, has already waned. MACD is bearish and momentum is above average. So it's a mixed signal out here, but I'm thinking if I look at the trends that we see here, there's a little bit of bearish divergence I can see. Let us hope that we continue to consolidate here and resolve all these matrices. But Palantir has got a good opportunity because it is in the next wave of AI. First we had the GPUs, then we had the infrastructure, and now we have actual applications, and Palantir is going to do great there. SMH keeps on pushing up and up and up. This diagonal line of resistance has now become a diagonal line of support. We have a target out here, price target of 281.22, and we are marching towards it with SMH. And I would say that we already have bearish divergence out here, because if NVIDIA has that, SMH is bound to have. So that's a big word of caution out there. Tempest AI is down 0.48% in pre-market trades, and it has got a support at 68.15. And I think the bullish sentiment is kind of picking up again. MACD has become bullish. Momentum is also above average. So I think that it's going to stay above this, and the diagonal line of resistance out here is going to be at around 75.89 for today. So my friends, that's what I have here for you in AI. Let me go and check what's happening in the comment section. Apple has a big moat, but I see no innovation these days. Yes, Hot Dog, I think I agree with you. One of the main complaints that came out after Apple's presentation was that AI is insipid when it comes to Apple, but there's a lot of upgrades in the software. But for Apple to differentiate itself from the Chinese competition and also to stand out as an innovating company and hold on to its pedigree, it has not only got to come up with good software design interface and other things, but it has also got to take the lead in AI. If it doesn't do that, then it is toast. So I was hoping that there would be Apple Car, but that didn't happen. I was hoping there would be Apple Robotics, some kind of a companion robot or household robot, but we don't see any of that. So yeah. Investing talks, hey all, thoughts of AMD move today. They've got their event, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm also not sure about AMD. Let me have a quick look at the stock of AMD. Let us see. I'm going into AMD. Where is AMD out here? Yeah, let's go back and have a look at AMD. So AMD, it is looking bullish to me at this point of time. It's looking pretty bullish. MACD is bullish. Momentum is also pretty good. Plenty of room on the RSI. Overall sentiment is also bullish. And we have bullish pattern also out here. So I'm thinking that AMD should do well. It's been going down for quite a while now, and it has got a lot of consolidation also happening out here. And I think it should do better. We'll at least cross this resistance of 125.08 today, hopefully, or at least in this week, and build a foundation and keep going up. And another way of looking at it is that it's already on a bull channel, and a very steep bull channel at that. So it came down with a slope, but the way it's going up is much stronger than the slope in which it came down. So I think it's getting the market's attention. So overall, I think it's going to go up. That's what I am thinking. That's my point of view. So thanks for that investing talks. What are your thoughts? Can you put your thoughts as well so that we can get the benefit of your thinking? Inf is saying, still crazy to me how Apple hasn't made its own AI. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so that's what we got there. Now let's quickly go and have a look at genomics, because we also have genomics viewers. So let's quickly look at what's happening with Prime. Prime is up 1.94% in pre-market trades. Chart is looking a bit challenging. Our resistance is going to be 1.76. We are at 1.58. Intelia is up 1.06%. Again, resistance is going to be 9.09. Right now we are at 8.56. So support is going to be 7.93. Caribou Biosciences, no trades pre-market. It got stopped by the resistance at 1.26. Right now we are at 1.22. So 1.26 will continue to be the resistance for today. And then we have Beam Therapeutics. It's up 0.44% in pre-market trades. Momentum is bullish. Momentum is above average. MACD is bullish. Sentiment is also bullish. And we have this resistance out here, which continues to hold us down. That is at 19.06. Pre-market, we are at 18.16, up 0.44%. Our support for today is going to be 17.44. That's what we have for Beam. Altimmune is flat in pre-market trades, and it has got a support at 6.22. So let me convert that into a support. And at this point of time, we are at 6.74, which is somewhere out here. So resistance is 8.15. Well, Therapeutics up 1.80%. Support at 5.28. Presently, we are at 6.50. Next, we have got Editas, flat in pre-market trades. It closed at 210. So we are still looking at this 2.08, which is going to be our line of support. This is a minor line of support, and we are above that today. So we'll have to see if we can close above this and validate this support. And if we do that, we are building a base up here and continuing to move upwards. That said, let's look at Illumina. Illumina is down 0.14%. Sentiment is bullish. MACD is also bullish. Momentum is also above average. One redeeming feature for Illumina, actually two, is that it is a revenue-making company. It's got products which are top of the line, leading the industry. It's got this diagonal line of support on which it has been running for quite a while. So overall, it's creating all the right scenarios, and we could potentially end up having a reverse head and shoulder, which will give us a target, and we kind of move out of the bearish settings. Otherwise, if you look at it right now, this is a bear flag, because you look at this as a flagpole, and this is a bad flag. So it could go either way. One has to be quite careful. Then we have CRISPR Therapeutics. CRISPR Therapeutics is up 1.30% in pre-market trades, support being 43.04, and resistance would be somewhere around 52.53. So that's what we have there. Allogene is flat in pre-market trades, and yesterday it managed to stay above the line of support, the line which is there at 1.35. So it's jumped over it, and it has already validated it as a support. So from now onwards, it has got to grow up there. There's a chance that we may form a reverse head and shoulder. If we do that, then the target will be pretty significant, and it will be good. Then we have Grail. It was divested from our Illumina, and Grail was holding back Illumina for quite a while because of the competition authorities clamping down on it. That load has been lifted off Illumina, and I think with the new CEO and also the backing of activist investors, I think it's going to turn around and do good. Grail also is holding out on its own, and it's doing pretty well. I think this is a bullish setup out here, though the sentiment of bullishness is waning a little bit. MACD is improving. It's moving towards the signal line to cross over to the bullish side. Momentum is also above average. I would like to hold my thoughts on Grail at this point of time, because I don't know. It's showing me mixed scenario out here. PSCB is down 0.04%, yes, as of yesterday. And today, pre-market, it's up 0.86%. We continue to have a resistance at 1.21. Presently, we are at 1.71. And we have a support, which happens to be at 1.89. So that's the range of support out there. ARC-T ETF, which is up 1.81 as of Friday, as of yesterday, is up 0.45% this morning in pre-market trades. That leaves the support of around 22.99 to be the support going forward, and we'll be building a base above this. That's what I'm thinking, because right now the stock price is at 24.33. So that is what we have with ARC-C. So that's all, my friends. That's all I got out here. And if you have any questions, please let me know. If there is any ticker that you want me to evaluate, please let me know. Or else, I'm in the frame of mind to shut down the live stream, go have a breakfast, and get ready for the markets. I'm going to check the comment section to see if there's any comments out there. Okay. Okay. We'll wait for the market data. This is where it will come up. We'll wait for it. So how are your guys' portfolios doing? Is anyone in profit? Has anybody taken profits? And do you have as much cash as the profits in your portfolio? I have, and I would like to know if others have got too. And I also have a lot of loss-making situations in my portfolio, which I have not realized yet. I'm going to hold on and see how best I can manage them. But wherever any loss-making share gets into profit, I book them and take the profits. Okay then. So I'm done for the day, unless long terms are happy. Yeah. So I'm done for the day. I'll catch up with you guys in the next video. Again tomorrow morning, 7:45 a.m. See you later. Bye for now. Hot Dog is saying taking profits from APLD this week. Yes, Hot Dog. All the best.